This is a war to end all wars. The Great War, 1914 to 1918. In context, focus, a tense peace. Before, 1881, Germany forms the Triple Alliance with Austria, Hungary, and Italy. 1897, Germany begins to build a high seas fleet, triggering a naval arms race with Britain. 1907, Britain, France, and Russia form the Triple Entente. 1912 to 1913, after two Balkan Wars, Serbia emerges as a strong, ambitious state. After December 1st, 1918, Yugoslavia is proclaimed an independent sovereign nation. February 14th, 1919, at the Paris Peace Conference, the Allied nations proposed a League of Nations to promote international cooperation. 1923, Germany's struggling economy experiences debilitating hyperinflation. Just weeks after World War II broke out, the writer H.G. Wells wrote an article entitled "The War to End All Wars." This proved to be the most iconic and the most ironic saying of the conflict. By 1918, the saying had spread across Europe, becoming synonymous with the hope for a better future. But were the grounds for hope justified? Between 1914 and 1918, more than 30 nations declared war. The majority joined on the side of the Allies, including Serbia, Russia, France, Britain, Italy, and the United States. They were opposed by Germany, Austria, Hungary, Bulgaria, and the Ottoman Empire. What began as a relatively small conflict in Southeast Europe became a war between European empires. Fighting occurred not only on the Western Front, but also in Eastern and Southeastern Europe, Africa, and the Middle East. The war impacted life on the home front in fields and factories. Seen here, many politicians are determined to ensure that the devastation caused by World War I never happens again, which led to the Allied leaders attempting to achieve this through the negotiation of peace treaties and arms limitation agreements, which led to leaders in the nationalist movement in the defeated nations vowed to avenge false treaties and exploit political and economic instability, which led to World War I not being the war to end all wars. A profound impact. This was a total war, and it was hugely destructive, leaving 17 million dead and 20 million wounded. There were other ramifications, however. It was indirectly responsible for new developments in machines such as artificial limbs, blood transfusions, antiseptics, and plastic surgery. Politics and social attitudes changed with the extension of voting rights, trade unions became mass organizations, and millions of women entered the workforce. There were also new developments in warfare technology, with planes, submarines, and tanks all playing key roles for the first time. These changes ensured there would be no return to the pre-war status quo. It was the war that collapsed four empires. The German, Ottoman, and Austro-Hungarian empires fell, and in 1917, the Bolsheviks overthrew Tsar Nicholas II, head of Russia's centuries-old Romanov dynasty. Germany, through Vladimir Lenin's return to Russia to foment civil unrest, would take Russia out of the war and work in its favor. While the Bolshevik Revolution did take Russia out of the war, it also created a state whose radical political ideas would challenge governments throughout the world. In this picture, French troops entrenched during the Second Battle of the Aisne, an immediately costly Franco-British attempt to drive the German army out of France in 1917. Shifting territories. Empire was at the heart of the war. Tens of millions of young Europeans fought for their European colonizers and sacrificed their lives. The result for the Allies was that their empires were secured or enhanced. Japan, once a small empire, obtained German colonial possessions in Asia and sea lanes in the Pacific, which ignited its own imperial ambitions in Asia. The demise of old empires left a vacuum for new states like Poland, Yugoslavia, and Czechoslovakia to form, but the borders of those new states were soon contested. The Treaty of Versailles saw Germany reduced in size, stripped of its colonies, and forced to pay substantial reparations. The Kaiser went into exile, and Germany plunged into economic and political chaos, paving the way for Adolf Hitler. The mood in Germany was foreshadowed by the newspaper Deutsche Zeitung, which vowed we will never stop until we win back what we deserve. At the end of the war in 1918, territorial disputes, competitive colonial ambitions, and national tensions remained and were now exacerbated by political, social, and economic instability. The hope that came with the idea of, quote, a war to end all wars was premature.